Alright, I'm here in the garden. I'm becoming more of just a weekend gardener. I've been so busy here lately, but as you can see behind me, it doesn't take a lot of time to really grow some great vegetables on your own. Sometimes I forget to mention, if you haven't just started following me on this channel, I do grow this garden here is 100% organic, no pests or chemicals or fertilizers or bug sprays of any kind. And I don't really have a lot of pest problems. I get some questions every once in a while what I do for pest control or diseases and this kind of thing. But as I go along today, I'm going to harvest a few things and I'll share my experiences with you on different kind of issues I've had in the past, and we'll check and see if we have any problems currently in the garden. It's been raining quite a bit here in Dallas every day, just about. The lakes are overfilling. I'm happy for the rain and the water. It's quite windy right now. Hopefully you can hear me. But let's get to harvesting some of the stuff in the garden and see what we got here. As you can see, the potatoes are coming along. Last week when I was talking to y'all about the onions, and I had a lot of weeds around them, and I cleaned out most of the weeds last weekend, and actually the onions fell over as I was messing around with them, and I was thinning them out. But they've all fallen over, and I didn't get that good of a size. They didn't make very good size-wise, probably because of the weeds, and I didn't thin them out soon enough. As you can see here, this one has actually already fallen out of the ground and is just sitting to the side here. So I'm going to pull my onions up and let's see what we get. So we'll just pull these up because they've all fallen over. See, the tops have all died off, so just pull them. Probably the worst year for our onions. We never had this bad of onions. One thing I will say is none of the onions actually flowered this year, so that's a plus, but they didn't make very well. Most likely because of the weeds in the garden, and we didn't thin them out soon enough. Alright, so here's our onions I just picked. You can see quite small actually. But that's what happens when you neglect some of your garden, I guess. And I usually tie them up and hang them, let them dry out, but I think we'll just let these stay on top of the chicken coop here, let them dry out, lay them out, and we'll probably eat them before they ever go bad. So there is our onion harvest. Alright, so here's our potatoes. If you've never grown potatoes before, you may look at this and think they're dying or diseased, but actually if you look at here, these are turning yellow. What they're doing is they're starting to die back. That means they're getting ready to be ready to harvest pretty soon. We could actually dig up a few plants right now and see what we had, or we can let the potatoes under the ground get to full size, and they will, once all the tops die back, all the plants die back. As you can see, all the blooms have stopped blooming and they're starting to slowly die back here. So I'll let them go probably another couple of weeks at least. Hopefully the rain will slow down so they're not so waterlogged. But that is not any kind of disease on the potatoes. That is just the potatoes. It's time for them to be almost time to harvest them. Here's Molly. I don't know what she's doing in my garden. Yeah, you look suspicious. You look like you're doing something suspicious there in my garden. Alright, so here's this is the winter boar kill. All I do is just take a knife and just cut some of these stems. And we'll just harvest some for dinner tonight. look at here real closely, you can see there's not really any bug damage. Just a minor bugs. Really not any bugs on here, so there's some of the kale. Alright, so here's our Swiss chard. If you come in close here, you can see there's a little bit of bug damage. Some worms probably eating it up. But I haven't really seen any out here. You can see here, I'll cut this leaf off to show you.
Chickens.
You can see here a little damage, but we'll let the bugs eat some and we'll eat the rest. So I'll just cut some of this up here and we'll have it for dinner. We've been eating this pretty well here, but I'm not going to use any chemicals or pesticides or bug killers to really treat this bug damage. If some of them are too badly eaten, we'll give them to our chickens. Chickens love the Swiss chard here. But this is one of the easiest things really to grow here. This Swiss chard is just great. I love this stuff. Saute it up with some onions, a little butter. You cannot beat that. The key is don't overcook it, you know. Some people like to cook their greens to death, and really just need to lightly saute these. And we'll saute the kales and the Swiss chard all together to be great. Over here we have some, this is a red Russian kale. You can see it's already bolted, gone to seed, flowered, whatever you want to call it. But you get some of these tender leaves off of here. And we'll add that to our pot. And these are just as good. Alright, here's one of our pepper plants. This is a bell pepper. I'm not going to pick it today. We'll let it get bigger or ripen it, or pick it when we're ready to eat it. We don't need it just yet. This variety here is the Better Bell. You can see they're growing. On top of here, there's some flowers, blooms, so it's making more. And it's very nice. Come on back here a little farther. This pepper plant's leaning a little bit. But on the back side here, it's loaded with peppers. You see that? It's loaded down. I'll stake this one up. This thing's just falling over here, like, because there's so much weight on the pepper plant. All right, here is a jalapeno pepper plant. You can see this thing here is loaded as well. Look at all these peppers. I'll pick one for tonight. I mean, look at that. This is very hot. This is the Mucho Nacho jalapeno pepper plant. So we'll add that to our basket. We have some other peppers growing here on these plants as well. We'll just leave them on here and let them get bigger all the way down the row. If we move on down to the next row, you can see this is the green beans. Look closely here. You can see they're just starting to grow, quite small here, and they got quite a bit of blooms on them, and they're just starting to make green beans, so we'll watch these. They'll grow pretty fast here. But we got a whole row of these green beans here. Come down here, you can see the blooms on them, and they're just starting to make green beans, so we'll watch these and see how they turn out. Down here is these are all cucumbers. I didn't put a trellis down this year for the cucumbers. I'm just gonna let them grow. I don't see any blooms on them just yet, but they are coming along. Then next to them is our squash and zucchini plants. I mean, look how nice these look. One problem I usually have with the squash and zucchini is the powdery mildew disease. And you know, surprisingly, with all the rain we've had, we haven't had any powdery mildew at all. But if we come in close here, you can see we have some squash just starting to make here. Flowers all in here. And I saw a lot of bees earlier in the day, so hopefully these are all getting pollinated. I'm not going to hand pollinate squash. That's just ridiculous to me. Here we have a tomatillo plant. The other one died. I got one left here. This thing is just, yeah, you can see the bees here on the tomatillo plant. I'm not sure if they'll show up on the video here or not, but there are bees out here. Quite a few bees pollinating, so we'll let them do their thing. All right, let's check out our tomatoes here. I mean, these things are huge. If you look, our fence is probably probably about 6.5 feet tall, and they're nearing the top. Probably that back tomato back there, that one is nearing the top of the fence. But they're growing profusely. As you can see, they are loaded with flowers and loaded with tomatoes. Look, these are the smaller variety. Let me see which one this is here. It's the grape. They're starting to produce here. Green zebra. And I mean, this thing is loaded with flowers. And if we come in to the plant, hopefully we can see it, there is just a bundle of tomatoes on the vine within all of this foliage, which you don't want to trim out this foliage. It is perfectly okay to have nice thick tomato plants. That's going to protect the actual tomatoes in the summertime from all the scorching heat, for one. So this is a great thing. Look down here, and this thing is covered in tomatoes. I mean, look at this, tomatoes everywhere, all in here, just covered with tomatoes. What plant is this here? Let's see if I can find the tag. These are the champion tomatoes down there. So as you can see, we got a ton of tomatoes. They are loaded. We'll watch them and see how they do. None ready to pick just yet. Then we come down here to our corn that is looking very well as well. Looking very good. I don't see any damage to the leaves yet. No bug damage. So far so good on that. I'm gonna come down this back side near the fence row of tomatoes here and check out them. See what we have as well. They've gotten a lot bigger than I expected. This year is one of the best years we've had for tomatoes so far, and they are loaded with tomatoes, as you can see. And I don't really see any bug damage or any yellowing leaves or anything. Come down to the bottom of the tomato plants here. I mean, wow, look at this. There's some more in here. This thing is stuffed with tomatoes. This is amazing. This variety here is the Homely Homer tomato, if you're curious about that. You gotta get down underneath here to really see the tomatoes and find them. but this foliage, nice thick foliage, is perfect to really protect the tomatoes from the sun, the scorching sun. And hopefully this rain will slow down and not cause tomatoes to split. If the rain keeps on pouring down like we've had, once they start ripening, they will really start to split here. You can see this tomato, see if they start to split around the tops, it's because of too much rain, too much watering. But they're still a little immature for that just yet. This is Old German. So I got several different varieties of tomatoes. One more look at the corn. First year growing corn. So stay tuned for our results on that. But really so far the plants themselves look very healthy. So hopefully they'll pollinate very well and make some corn on the cob. One thing I did say last weekend I planted was the okra. Here's some of the okra that is coming up here. So hopefully we'll have okra here once it starts warming up even more. Okra is a warm season summer crop for sure. Grows great here in Texas. So maybe you're wondering what I feed our garden. I do use organic fertilizers every once in a while. I'm not opposed to organic fertilizers. You know, you can use synthetic or organic, and some people recommend using neither. I do use organic. This year I used in our tomatoes, I found, you can get this on Amazon, I put a link down below. This is a organic, OMRI listed organic fertilizer for tomatoes. It says to add like 4 cupfuls when you first plant them. I just added 1 cupful per plant when I planted these tomatoes, and then a couple of weeks ago I just added 1 more cupful to each plant. So I don't really go by, I didn't go by their measuring directions, but that is what I used on our tomatoes, and maybe that's why they're doing so great this year. Maybe it's the rain, maybe it's the new location of the garden versus the main bed. But I usually use just an all-purpose organic fertilizer that I find in the stores. Any of them will do. I use them because based on our soil tests come back as 0 nitrogen in our soil, our heavy clay soil. So we do need to add something to help the plants along, because there's nothing for them to absorb as far as the nitrogen goes. As you can see, all of our garden is doing quite well. We do amend our soil every year. Check out my other videos on how we amend our soil. Use a lot of composts and manures, and I've used all kinds of different things to our soil each year, adding different items to improve upon our soil. But that is what I used this year on our tomatoes. Alright, so there's the look today of our garden. We harvested a little bit. Got our red Russian kale, Swiss chard, and also the winter boar kale we harvested, along with we got some peppers we're just now starting to pick, and our onions. I pulled all of our onions because they had all fallen over, which is a sign they're ready to pick, and they really didn't get that big, and that's my fault because of the weeds, and did not thin them out as I was planning to do. I usually plant them closer together and thin them out and use them as green onions, but as you can see I haven't been out here very much to actually do that, so I should have planted them farther apart. But hey, we got onions and they'll still be good and they will still be edible. So thanks for watching. Make it a great day. Don't forget to subscribe and comment down below if you like, and until next time.